My name is Emile Kairua. I am a known diabetic. I am 56 years old, and I guess if I can go back and remember when I was diagnosed, it was probably about 25 years ago. A cold, went up to the hospital, I think. In their process, they decided to do other tests. And surprised, really surprised, because I was quite active at the time. The results came back as a diabetic. Although at the time it didn't really hit me as hard, but I really should have gone back into our family history to understand that I was prone to that NCD. My grandparents, grandfather on both sides, members of my family have it, and why would I be surprised that I didn't have it? But I just didn't take care of myself at a younger age. And I guess over the years and since that day when I was diagnosed, it was, realizing that every year that you live with diabetes, you're actually cutting your life short. Not doing anything was cutting your life short. And I think the revelation came around that I really needed to do something when the grandchildren came along. All of a sudden we had a reason to live. If not for ourselves, then it's to enjoy a lot more time with our grandchildren. So I made some changes, short-term changes at the time. Did it last? I think surrounding ourselves by the root of the problem, which is food, makes it really hard for Polynesian people or anyone to overcome the issue. And the difficulty was getting away from the food. Our culture is all about food. And that was one of the biggest changes that I needed to make. But like I say, as much as I tried, we kept falling off that wagon. Kept falling off the wagon. When I was first diagnosed, they gave me a whole batch of pills that I needed to take, and then warned me that if I didn't do any of the pills that was recommended, the next step would have been to do the injections. And as much as that scared me at the start, it didn't scare me enough to stick with the medication. I had a whole bunch of pills, the metformins, the stilbastins, the blood pressure pills and all that kind of stuff. But it was a cocktail of pills that I hated. I really hated it, but I didn't hate it enough to stick to it and make sure that I fixed the problem. So I relapsed. I went back to the old ways, and I was always afraid to go back up to the hospital to see the doctors because I knew that the results was not going to be reversed. Finally, when it hit me that my heart was playing up, that my kidneys was playing up, I really needed to get back onto the medication. So the medications are huge. And anyone that does not have diabetes now, you do not want to have to do these pills because they're awful. They're really awful, but you need to do it. Well, I think my lifestyle change was actually prompted and helped by the lifeline that I was given when I was selected as part of 11 pioneers to trial a gastric operation. I forget what it is now, but Dr. Dunn, in his kindness and generosity, offered the opportunity for 11 people to undergo the process. That was my lifeline. As a result, obviously leading up to the process, we were taught to eat properly, which we had to. Otherwise, the procedure would have been removed from us. But as a result of that process, we, on average, all 11 of us, lost an average of 40 kilos each. I went from a huge 160 down to 115, and it's teetered between that level. But what that had proven to us is that if you do manage your weight, your system can repair itself. At the end of the day, we're taught to eat to live, not live to eat. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to do that, but I can assure you that the process is not the silver bullet. It will not fix your problem. But I'm thankful now that, knowing that if you can reduce your weight to a certain level, you can reverse the process of diabetes. I'm now averaging on count, test my blood every morning if I have to, on average 4 and 5. And I'm not taking medication. So folks, if you have got diabetes, you can beat it, or you can control it by reducing your weight. Just watch what you eat. But I guess the message is not for those that have got diabetes. It's for those that haven't got it. Go back and have a look at your families. Understand that if you've got people in your family that have got diabetes, you are likely to get it as well. You know, it passes through the generations. And one way to assure the fact that you're not going to be able to get it, that you're not going to suffer for what we have suffered, is watch your mouth. Watch what you put in your mouth. You know, there are so much better things to eat in this world. Have your ice cream, but don't have it in abundance. Just be mindful of what you put in your mouth. And if you've got grandchildren like I have, you've got a reason to live a little bit longer. I was told that for every kilo that I lost through proper eating, it added another year to my life. You know, and I'm just grateful that I saw the light before it became too late. Again, if you know that you've got family with diabetes, and if you think that you are, there are symptoms, there are telltale signs. Go see your doctors, they'll tell you what it is that you need to be aware of. Make the change now. It's too late to do it at the end. If you leave it long enough, damage will be done. I'm grateful that I'm one of the few, hopefully, touch wood, that I haven't reached the point where I have done irreparable damage to my kidneys and to my liver and everything else. I'm hopeful that it hasn't. But if you're at the stage where you feel there's something wrong, go get checked. Like everything else, prostate, check your kidneys, check your heart, check your diabetic levels. And if you think that you've got it, make the change now. Make it now.